Hi, I'm Zach, and this is Challenger Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. So, today we're talking about the Mars transit into Aries. And if you like my videos, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me and the channel. And to be notified whenever I put out a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. If you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. Alright, so today we're looking at the transit of Mars into Aries. This is going to be starting on June 1st and lasting until July 12th. So, with this, we're looking at your Vedic Sidereal transits, not your Western Tropical. If you don't know your Vedic Sidereal placements, then you can either look up a Vedic Sidereal birth chart online using a Vedic Sidereal birth chart calculator, or you can get a detailed Vedic Sidereal birth chart from my website. But when we look at this, we read it from your ascendant, from your moon, and from your sun signs. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, so kicking off with Aries, like always. Alright, Aries. So, for you, Mars is transiting in Aries. So this could be over your moon, over your sun, or in your ascendant. But when Mars is in the first house is you. It's your physical body. So Mars being here shows you're going to be feeling like a superhero. Mars is giving you the energy to be that hero in your life. You have the energy to do what needs to be done. Mars is strengthening your physical body. But yes, Mars is a malefic. There can be cuts here, there can be accidents, there can be burns. So be careful with that. But overall, this is giving you a lot of energy for physical activity in particular, because that's what Mars rules. So first house, your physical body. This could be good for working out, getting in better shape, any kind of physical activity that you need to be doing. This is good for putting energy into your overall life plan. Your energy is now centered on you. Alright, so let's talk about the aspects of Mars. Mars has a 4th, a 7th, and an 8th aspect. So the 4th aspect is all about conquest, and that's falling on your 4th house. 4th house is home, land, real estate, mother, comfort, happiness, vehicles. So here we see Mars wants to conquer the home. So you could be buying a new home. You could be moving. You could be buying land or needing to, do repairs or construction work to your home. You could be having a home remodeled with this. Same thing with a car. You could be getting a new car, having a car repaired. This could even be selling a car. But also, you can be a little over-domineering with your mother during this time and with the people that live within your home. So be careful of that. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is falling on the 7th house. Now, 7th aspect is the confrontational aspect of Mars. 7th house is relationships. 7th house is business partner. And it's also the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. So, to be blunt, there can be a lot of conflict with a lot of people. But especially in relationships and with your business partner, if you have one, be aware of that. Alright, now, the 8th aspect of Mars is the aspect of sun ups and downs, transformation. So, this is especially important during this transit because Scorpio is going to receive the 8th aspect of Mars, the 10th aspect of Saturn, and is being aspected by the 7th aspect of Jupiter. This is what we call triple impact. So Mars activates this. It's the activation point. It energizes it. Jupiter and Saturn are giving permission for an event to happen. Now Mars is triggering it. So, 8th house is in-laws. It's joint finances. It's sex. It's the occult. It's anything hidden. It's joint finances. It's other people's money. It's taxes. 8th house is sudden ups and downs, transformation, surgery. So what we see here is there's going to be a significant event tied to the areas related to this house that I've just mentioned. I mean, that could be anything. That could be you needing a surgery. That could be joint finances increasing. That could be something major going on with your in-laws. Also, 8th house being other people's money. This is also earnings through business because it's second from the 7th house. But also major sudden events and transformation can take place during this time. You could begin getting into the occult during this transit. Maybe you just discovered my channel. That's an example of this. But this is what Mars is going to do while it's in Aries for you. Alright, moving on to Taurus. Taurus. Mars is in the 12th house in Aries. In transit. So, 12th house. Well, first off, Mars is your energy and your drive. 12th house is bed pleasure, sex and sleep. It's jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries, anywhere you feel isolated and alone. 12th house is losses of all kinds, including financial. 12th house is foreign people, foreign lands, multinational companies. 12th house is investing, because to invest money, you have to lose money first. So, we see all of that with the 12th house. 12th house is also spirituality, foreign travel. So, Mars is energizing all of this. So what we see with this is, Mars is passion. 12th house is sleep, sex. So, definitely, there could be more of a sex life for you during this transit. But, Mars is also a lot of energy. 12th house being sleep. Mars makes it difficult to sleep when it's in the 12th house. You'll have too much energy. You won't be able to wind down. Also, this can show foreign travel could take place. You can put more energy into spiritual pursuits, especially physically oriented spiritual pursuits like yoga. Now, there can be losses here though, especially financial. So, definitely be careful with that with Mars in the 12th house. Now, to counter that, this can be a good time to invest. Because while investing, you're still losing money. But it's only temporary, hopefully. Alright. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So, Mars has a 4th, a 7th, and an 8th aspect. The 4th aspect of conquest is falling on your 3rd house. 3rd house is your younger sibling. It's your neighbors, your cousins. 3rd house is media, sports, art. 3rd house is self-effort. 3rd house is communication of all kinds, including writing. 3rd house is marketing, sales. It's travel, especially short distance travel. So, with Mars aspecting the 4th house, you can be over-domineering with your younger siblings, with your cousins, with your neighbors. You need to be careful of that. But here it's very good for putting energy into things. What requires effort, you're going to have the energy to do that. Mars is showing you have the energy. When it comes to sports, when it comes to art, when it comes to writing, Mars is energizing this. Mars wants to conquer those areas of life. 3rd house is also your skills. You could be learning a new skill. Mars is giving the energy for that to take place. 12th house is travel, so is the 3rd house. But especially Mars in the 12th house is foreign travel. Third house is 12th from the 4th house of home. It's the furthest place away from your home. So it also shows foreign travel can take place as well. So this is a big aspect for travel. All right. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is confrontational. And that's falling on your 6th house. 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your enemies. It's your pets. It's your coworkers. So, you can get into conflict with your maternal aunts and uncles, with your pets. I don't know, maybe they pissed on the carpet or something. You can get into conflict with coworkers. You can get into conflict with your enemies, of course. So that's what you need to keep in mind with that 7th aspect. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is transformative. It's about sun ups and downs. Now, this is especially important during this transit because Scorpio is receiving triple impact. So, there will be a major event tied to your 7th house of relationships, marriage, business partnerships. Now, the reason this is Jupiter and Saturn are both aspecting. Rahu's aspecting as well. Scorpio is receiving impact of all 3 slow-moving physical planets. Mars is the faster moving. It's the trigger. And then Rahu's also influencing. So, expect something major to happen with relationships, with business. 7th house is also getting out and meeting people. 7th house is the masses. 7th house is 10th from the 10th. It's the higher form of your status and career as well. Which, for most people would be business. So, definitely expect something major to happen in those areas of life. While Mars is in Aries. Alright, moving on to Gemini. Gemini. Mars is in Aries, your 11th house. One second, I need a drink. Alright, Gemini. So, 11th house. First off, Mars is your energy and drive. 11th house is your elder sibling. It's your friends, your network circle. It's large organizations. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. 11th house is financial gain. It's stock market. It's hopes, wishes, desires. So Mars is energizing this house. But Mars is a malefic. There can also be conflict here. Conflict with your elder siblings, with your paternal aunts and uncles, with your friends, with large organizations. But this is very good for financial gain. This is the house of gain and it's being energized. So that's a major positive aspect of Mars being in the 11th house. Now, let's talk about the actual aspects of Mars. Mars is a 4th, a 7th, and an 8th aspect. So the 4th aspect is all about conquest for Mars. It's falling on your 2nd house. 2nd house is your family. It's your finances, your earnings, your savings. So, Mars wants to conquer these areas of life. You can be overly domineering with your family during this transit of Mars. But Mars is wanting to conquer your 2nd house of earnings and savings. This is very good for finances when Mars is in the 11th house. Now, the 7th aspect of Mars is falling on your 5th house. 5th house is children. 5th house is students. It's your subordinates at work. It's also education, so we can see teachers. tied to the 5th house as well. So, 7th aspect of Mars is all about confrontation. You can get into conflict with these people. You need to be careful of that. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is about sudden ups and downs and transformation. And this is very important, this transit, because Scorpio is receiving triple impact of the 3 slow-moving physical planets. Saturn and Jupiter and Mars are all aspecting Scorpio. But Mars moves faster, so Mars is the trigger. And on top of this, Rahu's also aspecting with its 9th aspect. So, there's going to be sudden changes when it comes to your 6th house. 6th house is maternal aunts and uncles. It's your pets. It's your enemies. It's your coworkers. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's health issues. It's accidents. 6th house is debt. So, there are going to be major changes here. There can be a major change with your maternal aunts and uncles. You could get a new pet during this transit. You could begin a new job. You could have something come up where you either take on debt or you're able to pay off debt. Because you're making more money. With the 11th house and the 2nd house being activated by Mars. You could defeat your enemies or make new ones. With all of this impact happening on your 6th house. But alright, that's what I have for you, Gemini. Moving on to Cancer. Cancer. Mars is in your 10th house. Mars is your energy and drive. And it's transiting here in Aries. So 10th house is your career. It's your status, your fame. 10th house is the government. 10th house is your managers, your bosses. It's your workplace. But 10th house is also our karmic actions that the world notices. So even if you're retired, 10th house still matters. So, with this, Mars is a malefic. So we can see there can be conflict with managers and bosses. There can be conflict with people in government. Or with the government itself. But this is very good for your work overall. You have the energy to do what needs to be done in your career to achieve that status that you want. But definitely be careful. There can be conflict with people at work. Now, the 4th aspect of Mars falls on the 1st house. So 1st house is you, your physical health, your body. So Mars in the 10th, aspecting your 1st house, shows you want to conquer your body. You want to be in better health. You want to achieve something for yourself. You're focused on you. You want to be a better you with this aspect of Mars. Now, the 7th aspect of Mars is all about confrontation. It's falling on your 4th house. 4th house is your mother. It's the people in your home. So, you need to be careful of this. There can be conflict with your mother and with the people in your home. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is about sudden ups and downs and transformation. And that's falling on your 5th house. So, this is the most important aspect of this transit. Because the 3 slower moving physical planets, Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter, are all aspecting Scorpio. And Rahu is also aspecting Scorpio. Just to add to this, Mars moves the fastest. So Mars is triggering it. Mars is saying it's time now. So, 5th house is education. It's children. It's romance, fun and games. It's your students, your subordinates at work. 5th house is creativity, art. 5th house is change of job. Because it's 8th from the 10th house of career. It's the sudden change of the career. 5th house is also politics. So there could be major changes when it comes to the 5th house. You could begin a new romance. You could change jobs. You could get involved in politics. You could begin a new course. Go for more education. There can be something big that happens with your creative pursuits. I don't know why I pronounced that weird. You could even have children with this aspect. Now, dashas are most important. Your planetary time periods, your sign-based time periods. But this is an indicator that, you could have children during this transit, or someone could get pregnant. You or your partner. Now, 5th house is also speculative gain through gambling, through stock market, through business. So there can also be something big that happens with that. While Mars is transiting in Aries. But alright, that's what I have for you, Cancer. Moving on to Leo. Alright, Leo. So, Mars is in your 9th house in Aries. So, Mars is your energy and your drive. 9th house is your father and father figures. It's your teachers, gurus. 9th house is higher education, like beyond a bachelor's degree. 9th house is religion, philosophy, the law. It's foreign travel, pilgrimage. It's publishing. So, Mars is energizing this house. One thing that we see is there could be conflict with a father figure. There could be conflict with your teachers in your education. There can be conflict. There can be conflict with people that are in the law, with religious people. But overall, this is very good for energizing this house. This can be good for pursuing education, for traveling. This can be good for trying to get something published, if that's what you're trying to do. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest, falling on the 12th house. 12th house is spirituality. 12th house is bed pleasure, sex, and sleep. 12th house is isolation, jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries, anywhere you feel isolated and alone. 12th house is foreign travel. Foreign places, foreign people, multinational companies. 12th house is losses of all kinds, including financial. 12th house is also investing, because when you invest, you temporarily lose money. Hopefully temporarily. But with this aspect, we see you want to pursue your spirituality. Or on the flip side, you want to have more of a sex life. You want to travel more. 9th house is tied to long distance travel. 12th house is foreign lands. Definitely, you can travel during this transit of Mars in the 9th house. This can be good for investing money. Mars is in your 9th house of luck, energizing it. And also, trying to conquer the house of investments. But this is also showing that Mars wants to conquer your losses. Rein them in. Try not to spend too much on that extravagant trip. Now, the 7th aspect of Mars is all about confrontation. It's falling on your 3rd house. 3rd house is younger siblings, cousins, neighbors. 3rd house is the internet. So, you can get into conflict with your younger siblings, with your cousins, your neighbors, and people online. Being a keyboard warrior. Don't do that. Try to avoid it, if possible. Now, 8th aspect of Mars is all about sun ups and downs and transformation. It's falling on your 4th house. And this is the most important aspect of this transit, because the 3 slower moving physical planets, Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter, are all aspecting Scorpio, along with Rahu. Mars is the fastest of these, so Mars is triggering this. So there will be sudden changes tied to your 4th house. 4th house is mother, home, land, real estate, vehicles. 4th house is your comfort and your happiness. So there's going to be sudden changes here. Maybe your mother's going through a lot of changes in her life. Maybe you're getting a new home or renovating a home. Maybe you're buying property or selling property. Same thing could be going on with a vehicle. Buying or selling a vehicle, repairing a vehicle. Hopefully not one breaking down on you. But definitely expect something big to happen when it comes to the 4th house, while Mars is in Aries. Alright. Moving on to Virgo. Virgo, I need a drink. 1 second. Alright, Virgo. So, Mars is transiting in Aries. Aries is your 8th house. Mars is your energy and drive. So what's 8th house? 8th house is sex. 8th house is the occult. It's research. It's joint finances and relationships and business. It's other people's money. It's your in-laws. 8th house is sun ups and downs, transformation, surgery. 8th house is also taxes, inheritance, wills, estates, legacies. So, we see Mars is energizing this house. You can have more of a sex life with Mars transiting in the 8th house. But there can be conflict with in-laws. Mars is energizing the house of joint finances. Now, Mars energizing the house of joint finances sounds like a good thing, but Mars is all about necessities. So, you'll make more money, but you'll also spend more money, especially on necessities, because that's what Mars cares about. Mars is a soldier who wants supplies for the war. Now, this is also good for pursuing the occult, for doing research. Mars is giving you the energy to go through transformation, to get a surgery, if you need one. But be careful of that conflict, especially if you have in-laws. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. Mars is a 4th aspect of conquest, falling on your 11th house. 11th house is your elder siblings. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends, your network circle, large organizations. It's your hopes, wishes, and desires. It's financial gain. It's stock market. So, this aspect of conquest, you can be overly domineering with your elder siblings, with your paternal aunts and uncles, with your friends, with large organizations. You want to take over the large organization. You want to be in charge. You want to achieve more gains, especially suddenly, because Mars is aspecting from the 8th house. Like I said, be careful. You can be too much. Alright. Now, the 7th aspect of confrontation is falling on the 2nd house. Well, 2nd house is your family. So, there can be confrontation with your family during this transit. Mars in the 8th house, aspecting the 2nd house. There can be conflict with your in-laws and with your own family. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is all about sun ups and downs and transformation. It's falling on the 3rd house, Scorpio. This is the most important aspect of this transit because the three slower moving physical planets, Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter, along with Rahu, are all aspecting Scorpio. And Mars moves the fastest. Mars is pulling the trigger. So, third house is younger siblings, cousins, neighbors. It's travel, especially short distance travel, but it's also 12th from the 4th house. It's the furthest place away from your home. So foreign lands. Third house is art, sports, media. It's your self-effort. It's 8th from the 8th. It's the higher form of sudden ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort. Third house is your skills. Third house is communications of all kinds, including writing. So, we see there will be a major change with your third house while Mars is transiting in Aries. Everything that I mentioned. Third house is also marketing and sales. So there can be a big change there as well. Alright. That's what I have for you, Virgo. Moving on to Libra. Alright, Libra. So, Mars is transiting in Aries, your 7th house. Mars is your energy and drive. 7th house is relationships, business partner. 7th house is the masses, all the people you meet out in the world. It's also 10th from the 10th house. It's the higher form of your status and your career. So, we see this house is being heavily energized because that's what Mars does. But Mars is also a malefic. Mars is the soldier wanting to go to war. So, there can be conflict with your relationship partner, with your business partner, with lots of people out in the world. Because 7th house is the masses. But this can be very good for business. Business is being energized. The higher form of your status in your career is being energized. This can be very good for career and for business. But in relationships, it can be a mixed bag. Passion can be overblown to the point where it becomes conflict. Alright. Now, the 4th aspect of Mars is all about conquest. And it's falling in your 10th house. 10th house is your career, your status, your workplace, your managers, your bosses. It's government. It's also your karmic actions that the world notices. So this is important even if you're retired. So, here we see you can be overly domineering with your managers and bosses, wanting to overtake them. You can be overly domineering with the government. Don't think that'll work out good for you. But this can be very good for achieving something in your career, for achieving higher status. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is all about confrontation. That's falling on your 1st house. So, 1st house is you. Now everybody is bringing conflict to you. That's what this means. So, be aware of that. Even if you don't want conflict, it'll be brought to your door. Alright. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is all about sun ups and downs and transformation. That's falling on your 2nd house of Scorpio. Now, this is the biggest aspect of this transit. Scorpio is receiving triple impact. Those 3 slower moving physical planets, Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter, are all aspecting Scorpio. Along with Rahu. Mars is the faster of all these. So Mars is the trigger. Mars is pulling the trigger. It's time now. So, 2nd house is your family. Your earnings, your savings. There's going to be a big change in this house while Mars is transiting in Aries. There will be a big change in your family. Maybe there's an addition to the family. Someone getting married or having a kid. There can be a big change in your finances. You could be making more money, saving more money. There could be a new source of income. But alright, that's what I have for you, Libra. Moving on to Scorpio. Alright, Scorpio. So, Mars is transiting in Aries, your 6th house. 6th house is, well, first off, Mars is your energy and drive. 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your pets. It's your enemies. It's your coworkers. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's your physical health, especially health issues, accidents. 6th house is debt. It's also competition. So, we see Mars is energizing your 6th house right now. There can be conflict with your maternal aunts and uncles, with your coworkers, with your enemies. That aspect of it could be good. Mars can help you defeat your enemies here. You have the energy to defeat them. And yeah, I guess there could be conflict with pets. Be nice to them. Now, Mars is energizing the 6th house of debt. This can be bad. You can take on more debt with Mars in the 6th house. Here, Mars can cause an accident. Mars can show you will have an accident. That is something that's possible here. So you need to be careful. Mars can show there could be health issues. You could get sick. Could be something as simple as a cold. Hopefully not worse. But Mars is transiting in its own sign of Aries. So Mars has the strength to help you overcome these things. Now, the 4th aspect of Mars is all about conquest. It's falling on your 9th house. 9th house is your father figures. It's your teachers, your mentors. 9th house is religion, philosophy, the law. It's higher education, especially beyond a bachelor's degree. 9th house is foreign travel, pilgrimage. Long distance travel, to be specific. 9th house is also publishing. So, these are the areas of life you'll want to conquer. You can be overly domineering with your father figures, with your teachers, with people in education, with religious people, with people involved in the law. Especially if you're dealing with a legal matter. Mars is in the 6th house of conflict. This can be litigation. 9th house lawyer. So definitely be careful with that. Don't want to get into hot water with a lawyer or with the judge. But this can be good for achieving in your education. Especially if you're involved in like competitive exams or something like that. Or if you're traveling for some sport event. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation. That's falling on your 12th house. 12th house is foreign people. Multinational companies. Spiritual people. So you can get into conflict with these people. Be careful of that. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is all about sun ups and downs and transformation. It's falling on Scorpio, your 1st house. So, with this is the most important aspect of this transit. Because the 3 slower moving physical planets, Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, and even Rahu, are all aspecting Scorpio. Mars moves the fastest. Mars is pulling the trigger. for a big change to happen here. So, first house is you, your physical health, your body. There can be a big change in your health. There could be a big change in your life overall. This first house is your overall life. Expect a big change tied to this house while Mars is transiting in Aries. Alright, moving on to Sagittarius. Alright, Sagittarius, I need a drink. 1 second. Alright. Okay, Sagittarius. So, Mars is transiting in Aries, your 5th house. Mars is your energy and your drive. 5th house is romance, fun and games, education, children, students, and subordinates. Even your subordinates at work. 5th house is speculation, speculative gain through business, through stock market, through gambling. 5th house is creativity, arts, sports. So, Mars is giving you the energy to pursue these things. You could begin a new romance. You could do well in your education or start a new educational course. Your creativity will be energized. Also, 5th house is 8th from the 10th house. It's the sudden change and transformation of your career. This could be a new job. Fifth house is, like I said, also speculative gain. So you could gain if you're involved in business or the stock market. Depends on your birth chart, of course. Your planetary time periods, your sign-based time periods, or dashas, as they're known. But this is what Mars is giving you the energy to do. Now, Mars is malefic though. There could be conflict with children, with students, with subordinates, with people in educational environments. 5th house is also politics. You can get involved in politics during this time as well. Now, the 4th aspect of conquest is falling on the 8th house. 8th house is your in-laws, joint finances and relationships and business. 8th house is sex, the occult, research. 8th house is surgery. It's other people's money. It's wills and inheritance, legacies, estates. It's taxes. Sudden ups and downs and transformation. So, you want to conquer these areas of life. You can be overly domineering with your in-laws. You can want to conquer joint finances and other people's money. You can want to conquer your sex life. Mars is energizing the house of romance. Most people want to have sex when that's activated. This can be very good for the occult and for research, especially if you're getting an occult education or needing to do research for your education. This can be very good for transforming something in your life. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation. It's falling in your 11th house. 11th house is your elder sibling, or elder siblings in general. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your friends, your network circle, large organizations. There can be conflict with all of these people. You need to be careful of that. Now, 8th aspect of Mars is about sudden ups and downs and transformation. It's falling on your 12th house of Scorpio. But this is the most important aspect of this transit, because Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars, the 3 slower moving physical planets, along with Rahu, are all aspecting Scorpio. Mars moves the fastest. Mars is pulling the trigger, saying now's the time. So, 12th house is jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries, anywhere you feel isolated and alone. 12th house is bed pleasure, sex, and sleep. 12th house is spirituality. 12th house is losses of all kinds, including financial. 12th house is investing, because you have to temporarily lose money when you invest. 12th house is foreign lands, foreign people, multinational companies. So, there's going to be a big change when it comes to this house. Could be a big change with your investments. Could be you losing a lot of money or making a lot of money through your investments. Or just investing in general. Could be a big change in your spirituality, your spiritual pursuits. There could be a big change when it comes to foreign travel. Worst case scenario, this could be you need to go to a hospital for a surgery. Mars is aspecting the 8th house of surgery, 12th house of hospitals. But maybe you need a surgery. But there will be a big change tied to the 12th house. Maybe you're overcoming financial losses, reining it in. This could be that as well. But alright, that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Moving on to Capricorn. Alright, Capricorn. So, Mars is transiting in Aries, your 4th house. Mars is your energy and your drive. 4th house is your home, land, real estate, vehicles, comfort, happiness, and your mother. So, there's a lot of energy in the home right now. You could be getting a new home, buying a home, selling a home, buying land or real estate, or selling land or real estate. Land and real estate. Same thing with a car. Maybe a car needs repairs. Home needs remodeling. Maybe your car's breaking down. Hopefully not. Also there can be a lot going on with your mother during this time as well. But Mars is a malefic. There can be conflict with your mother. Conflict with people in your home. Now, the 4th aspect of Mars is all about conquest. It's falling on your 7th house of relationships, business partner, the masses. 7th house is also 10th from the 10th. It's the higher form of your status and career. It's also 4th from the 4th. Home away from home. So this could be a new home. So Mars is showing you want to conquer these areas of life. You could be wanting to get a new home. You could be wanting to achieve something in your career. Achieving higher status. You could want to begin a new relationship. Accomplish things in business. But 4th aspect of Mars, you can be overly domineering with your relationship partner, your business partner, with other people out in the world. But especially relationship partner and business partner. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is confrontational. It's falling on the 10th house. 10th house is government. 10th house is your managers, your bosses, people in your workplace. These are the people you can get into conflict with. Be careful. Now, Mars' 8th aspect is falling on your 11th house. Alright. 8th aspect is about sun ups and downs and transformation. So, this is the most important aspect of this transit of Mars and Aries. Because Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the 3 slower moving physical planets, along with Rahu, are all hitting Scorpio. Triple impact. Mars moves the fastest though. Mars is pulling the trigger for a big change to happen here. So, 11th house is your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles, your friends, your network circles, large organizations. It's financial gain. It's stock markets. It's the gain of your status because it's second from the 10th house of status. So we see there can be a big change. Hell, not can be, will be a big change in your 11th house. There could be a big change with your elder siblings, with your paternal aunts and uncles, with your friends, with a large organization, with financial gain. You could gain a lot during this transit. 11th house is hopes, wishes, and desires. You could fulfill some of those during this transit of Mars and Aries. But alright, that's what I have for you though, Capricorn. Moving on to Aquarius. Alright, Aquarius. So, Mars is transiting in Aries, your 3rd house. Mars is your energy and your drive. 3rd house is your skills. It's your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. 3rd house is 8th from the 8th. It's a higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. Because 3rd house is self-efforts. It's transformation through self-effort. 3rd house is media. It's communications of all kinds, including writing. It's sports. It's art. 3rd house is short distance travel. And can be long distance travel as well. Because it's 12th from the 4th house of home. It's the furthest place away from your home. So, we see Mars is energizing this house. There can be a lot going on with your younger siblings, with your cousins, your neighbors, with people online. But Mars is a malefic. There can be conflict with them as well. Mars is giving you the energy to put forth effort, to learn new skills, to pursue sports, to pursue art. 3rd house is also marketing and sales. This can be good for that as well. Now, the aspects of Mars. Let's talk about them. So, the 4th aspect of Mars is all about conquest, and it's falling on your 6th house. 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your pets, your enemies, your coworkers. 6th house is health issues, accidents. 6th house is debt. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's competition. So Mars shows you want to conquer this house. You want to defeat your enemies. You want to overcome your health issues. You want to overcome competition. Overcome debt. This can be very good. But you can be overly domineering with your maternal aunts and uncles. With your coworkers. With your pets. Also, this aspect shows you could get a new pet. This can be very good for overcoming health issues as well, if I forgot to mention it. This can also be good for competition. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation. It's falling in your 9th house. 9th house is your father figures. It's your teachers, your mentors. It's religious people. It's people involved in the law. So there can be conflict with these people. Be careful. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is falling on your 10th house. This is about sun ups and downs and transformation. This is the most important aspect of this transit because the 3 slower moving physical planets, Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter, along with Rahu, are all aspecting Scorpio. Mars moves the fastest, so Mars is pulling the trigger for something big to happen here. So 10th house is your career, your status. It's your workplace, your managers, your bosses. 10th house is your fame. It's your karmic actions that the world notices. So this is important even if you're retired. So for most of you, this is going to be a big change in your career. and your status, your fame. There can be a big change in your workplace that'll take place while Mars is in Aries. Even if you're retired, you could achieve more fame with this transit of Mars in Aries. So definitely expect big things to happen here, Aquarius. Alright, moving on to Pisces. Pisces, 1 second, I need a drink. Sorry, a lot of talking, my throat gets dry. Alright, so Mars is transiting in Aries, your second house. Mars is your energy and your drive. So second house is energized. Second house is your family, your finances, your earnings, your savings. Second house is your speech. So there can be conflict with your family here, or just a lot going on with your family. Second house is your earnings and your savings. They're being energized. But this is a mixed bag with Mars. Mars is showing you'll be making more money, or there could be new sources of money. But Mars is a soldier. Mars wants essentials for the war. So Mars is also going to have you spend more money on essentials, like food, clothing, shelter. So you'll see that as well. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. Mars has a fourth aspect of conquest, falling on your fifth house. So fifth house is romance, fun and games. Fifth house is education. It's children, students, subordinates, including subordinates at work. It's creativity, art, sports. Fifth house is speculative gain through business, through stock market, through gambling. Fifth house is eighth from the 10th house. It's the sudden change and transformation of your career. So it can show a new job. Now, you want to conquer this house. You want to start a new romance. Achieve something in your education, in sports, in art and creativity. You could be having children, or someone could get pregnant. You could be changing jobs. Maybe that's why you're making more money. Now, the seventh aspect of Mars is about confrontation. It's falling on your eighth house. Eighth house is in-laws. It's also the occult. So, you could be getting in a conflict with your in-laws, with an occultist. Especially when Mars is in the second and eighth house. Conflict with your family and your spouse's family. Sorry for you. Now, Mars' eighth aspect is about sudden ups and downs and transformation. It's falling on the ninth house of Scorpio. This is the most important aspect of this transit, because Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, the three slower moving physical planets, along with Rahu, are all aspecting Scorpio. Mars is the fastest of these. It's pulling the trigger. It's saying now is the time for something big to happen. So while Mars is in Aries, there will be a big change tied to your ninth house. Ninth house is your father and father figures. It's your teachers, your mentors. It's your higher education, especially beyond a bachelor's degree. Ninth house is your luck. Ninth house is religion, philosophy, the law. Ninth house is long distance travel, pilgrimage. So, we see there will be a big change tied to this house. There can be a big change with a father figure. There can be a big change with your teacher, your mentor, your guru. A big change in your education. You could travel. Your religious or philosophical views could significantly change. Even your legal views. Your luck could significantly change while Mars is in Aries. Alright. But yeah, that's what I have for all of you. Definitely a lot going on, especially in the sign of Scorpio, for every, ascendant, moon, and sun sign. And yeah, so look forward to it. Hopefully it'll be a positive change for you. But if you like my videos, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me and the channel. To be notified whenever I put out a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. If you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.